All right. All right. We've got our live stream up and we're ready to go. Is anyone else other than me hosting today by chance? Okay. If they are, you will interrupt as we go. Okay, great. All right. Hey, today's the 15th of April, 2026. It is about the sixth birthday of Meshery, by the way. We should pick an official birth date and make that happen at some point, probably. Anyway, speaking of Meshery, that's what this meeting is. It's the Meshery development meeting. We meet once a week. Meshery is a CNCF project, so you're in the right place. Meshery is uh, a relatively a relatively large scoped project in terms of its features, and a relatively quickly moving project as well. So lots of activity, lots of technologies. Um, if you are shy about being recorded, please know that we are recording and live streaming to YouTube. So um, don't say anything you wouldn't want your mother to hear. And be kind to your neighbor if you would. One of the cultural aspects of this particular community is that we try to do our best to pay it forward with others. We try to learn openly and sort of be comfortable saying, I don't know, in answer to any question, because most of us just don't. And I'm pointing at myself. So I'm here learning with all the rest of you. And my name's Lee. I'm one of the maintainers. There's a number of other maintainers on the call. There are community managers on the call. There are contributors on the call. There are mesh mates on the call. There are a number of different roles in the community that each of you are encouraged to learn about and maybe undertake, maybe wear that hat. If you want to know more about the various technologies that are at play across the projects within Meshery and outside of Meshery, and if you want to know more about the roles that I just mentioned and what they entail, what responsibilities they have, what privileges they come with, I encourage you to attend the newcomers meeting that we have once a week on Fridays. You'll learn, ask all those questions there. The agenda for that meeting takes you through an overview of both the projects, the technology, and the community. So good. And there's no statute of limitations on the newcomers meeting. You can go as many times as you want, even if you've been here a year. You just keep going. Or if you've been here a little while and you feel comfortable enough, maybe it's your turn to host that meeting. Speaking of hosting meetings and of agenda items that we have on meetings, your agenda items are important, and we've got a lot of them today. Wonderful. I think we'll make it through all of them. Last week, we didn't quite have enough agenda items to warrant the meeting. So this is our collective agenda, or this is your agenda. So on a weekly basis, add in your topics. A lot of times you find that people put in a topic that references an issue or a pull request, and that doesn't have to be that's common, but that doesn't have to be the case at all. Maybe you just have a question. Maybe you have a suggestion. Maybe you just want to talk about something that just happened in our technology ecosystem that you want to talk about, or something. Like, it doesn't have to be about pull requests and issues, is what I'm trying to say. Occasionally we have special agendas in terms of, like, most or half of the meeting is dedicated to a design review, a deep dive on a particular topic. And so watch out for those. Sometimes various individuals in the community just make a request to have a one-off. Great, let's do that. And there's all kinds of things to talk about, all kinds of things to spend time on and focus on and go deep on. So the community calendar, it has these standing weekly meetings, but at any point that any of you, and actually there's a few people that are on the call right now who represent this next statement, which is they needed to have a meeting, so it got put on the community calendar. So if that ends up being you, good, let's put it on the community calendar. Okay. Lastly, we want to make sure that, no one gets left behind to the extent that that's feasible. And it isn't always, but to ensure that no one gets left behind, we first have to kind of get to know everybody and let everybody get to know one another a little bit. So we have these super awkward icebreakers where we say, if you're new on the call, if you haven't been here, let's take a moment and get to know you. So if you're new on the call, now is your chance just to say hi, say where you're from, what your favorite 3 passwords are that you use frequently. Okay, just kidding. What your favorite color is, whatever, just why you're here. Anybody new on the call? Let's take a quick look. We always oust people. This is where it gets awkward because the point is to help make you
Yeah.
feel comfortable. Sujay.
Hi. My name is Sujay. This is the first time I'm attending the development meeting. I've been in the newcomers call, and yeah, I got to know about Meshery last year, but there was too much workload. I was doing my masters. I'm still a master student, currently residing in Finland. Originally, I'm from India, and yeah, I look forward to contributing in the project and some of the things that I worked on during my studies and other work experiences. I think I can contribute uh, those things in the project for the wider community. And yeah, hope to have a wonderful time in the community.
Awesome. Oh, thanks for speaking up, Sujay. Yeah, actually, already the work that you've been focused on, like it's helping keep some of us busy because I think you might have bumped into a bug or two already. So this is great. Maybe you'll be the one fixing the bugs. Maybe you'll be the one pointing out the bugs. Either way, it all helps. So it's good. All right. Hey,
Yeah.
CJ, if you don't mind, real quick, of the focus that you have of what has you in Finland, um, does that technological focus overlap at all with some of what Meshery does by chance?
Not exactly, but there are things that can be incorporated, like in my the things I've been working on during my master's thesis. Like I've been focused on observability and monitoring for GPU accelerated infrastructure. So I went on and saw the models and the registry. There was no NVIDIA related components, models and components. So, but many of those operators are open sourced by NVIDIA, and those can be integrated in the registry. And as we are going forward, a lot of the infrastructure now is being upgraded to the say the GPUs from NVIDIA or AMD. A lot of that is being introduced not just in one domain but across the different sectors and domains. So it's like a general evolution pattern in the industry also, and it will be adopted a lot by open source tools also. So I think that is a area that has a lot of potential that we can add, and that will going forward support a lot of different architectures that people might want to visualize and manage through Meshery.
Wonderful. Two thoughts. One is the question that I asked, you answered. Thank you. And actually, I just wanted to be clear for you and everyone else. Even had your answer just been no, that's totally fine. Or like you don't have to have an ongoing overlap and stuff. I only asked because you were focused on that GPU operator, and I didn't know if that was and I had wondered if that was just part of your ongoing studies, but so good. Oh, the second question I had, or the second, the just now you were saying, hey, it looks like the industry's shifting this way, and this technology is helpful. And can you were you saying GPU centric things, or were you saying operator based things?
No, in general, I'm working with Nokia, which is focused on in the telecommunications industry, and a lot of workloads, network traffic workloads, are being moved from CPU, the processing, to the GPU, and the same would be going on in other parts of the industry also. So we can parallelize workload. The newer generation of these series that are being released have quite a higher threshold compared to what CPUs can process. So
Cool. So
in
it was
that
the
way,
G. Good. It was the first. It was the GPUs. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I get you. Yep. You answered my question. Perfect. Perfect. Makes sense. I'm interrupting not because I enjoy it, but because I have a tendency to drone on and on and on and on, and then we don't get to the topics. And so, and you might have solidarity with me in that regard. I don't know if anyone's ever
yeah,
told you.
completely. If you want to have a longer discussion,
No,
I
I
have
don't.
a few things
Yeah.
that we can chat about.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah, separately also.
Bar oh, very good, very good. Barath, have you gotten a chance to say hi before?
No.
All
Uh,
right.
I've, I've joined the newcomers meeting and the website meeting before, but I've never spoken in this meeting before.
Yes, had you spoken in this meeting before, I would have remembered it. Good. Thank you for speaking into the microphone, and very good to have you, Barath. Is it Valaboju?
Yes, that's right. I'm not
Okay.
sure what's going on with my mic setup. Is it too loud?
It might just be that your voice is overpowering it a little bit, so so it's very I don't know what the right adjective is. It's overpowering is as close as I can get, I think. It just is blasting the speaker.
Oh,
I don't
my
anyway.
bad. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
Thanks for pointing that out.
I mean, one, it gave me a terrible joke to say, which is great. And then two, it's better to be a little too loud than too quiet. So very good to have you, Barth. Thanks for speaking up, literally. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, great. Who else wants to get harassed? Hebby, Mr. Paul, what's going on?
I used to come for website meeting.
Awesome.
Okay.
Good. And if you
Uh,
haven't said hi on this call before, here's your chance. Or if you don't want to get to know people, you don't have to say hi.
Hi, I am from Kerala, India, and hi everyone. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, hello. Hey, great. Is it Hebe or Hebby?
It's heavy.
Hebby. Sounds very heavy, Hebby. Good. We have a grocery store here in Texas. It's called HEB, or some people call it HEB, just for fun. But it stands for Here Everything is Better. I don't know why. Anyway, it's a big grocery store. So I'll just have to remember it's Hebby. Great. Good to have you, man. Thanks for joining the websites meeting as well. All right. So with that, Sangram, you might have our first announcement and we'll get into the topics.
Yeah, thank you. And keep it short. The community forum that we have, which is discuss.layer5.io, that was running on AWS. And we've got it moved to the Oracle Cloud infrastructure just to consolidate everything in a single place and subsequently make it easier to move or migrate from the current Docker-based single container installation into a Kubernetes-based. The migration will be facilitated by Meshery once some of the kinks with Meshery are sorted out. As of now, the solution design remains the same. It's a virtual machine running Docker, a single container running all the components of Discourse minus the database that is on a managed Oracle Postgres database, similar to the RDS that we had on AWS. There are a couple of challenges that we have around namespace management that needs to be addressed before we can run something. This eventually is going to be a production for us. And it is also a good use case to go around and demonstrate in terms of the capabilities that Meshery has. And yes, I mean, since it will be a production deployment for us, we have to ensure that it cannot be accidentally deleted or the configuration changed and things like that. So yeah, I mean, there are a few initially, or to begin with, there are a few namespace related challenges. I'm hoping to raise issues once we have Playground working properly, and watch out for some of those issues, and I'll put them on Meshery, and they'll be good ones to contribute or get your hands to kind of fix them. Will require you to work with Kubernetes as well in the background, the APIs and stuff like that. That's all. If there's anything you want to add, Lee, please go ahead. You're in mute, I think.
You were saying, I was just going to highlight the last thing that you'd said, which was if you're a contributor here and into DevOps, that there are opportunities to engage over here. I think that's part of what you said, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very good. Okay. Yeah, there's some behind the scenes work that goes on, or there's a lot of behind the scenes work that goes on here. But thanks to Sangram, we still have a discussion forum up and available. And if you're unaware, one of the ways the discussion forum is being used is to keep notes about the contributor certification that Meshery offers. It's a first of its kind in the CNCF. And so this category of topics is all about studying for that certification. So, all right. Well, that gets us into our topics. And Harsh, are you on the meeting? And crash and burn. Strike one. All right. Next up. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Olalai. I thought Olalai was your first name, but it's not. This is your first name. Yeah. Or which one is it? Oyiwuni.
Yeah. My
Yeah,
first
very
name is
good.
Olale.
Olale. Or
Yeah.
Ola. Olale. Ah, very good. Okay. Yeah. Well, very good. Well, hey, your topic is up. Do you want to, we have a habit of, the person that's introducing a topic that they might share their screen and, introduce people to what you want to talk about.
So these are my PL that needs to be discussed. This is the first one. Okay. There's an issue here that says to simplify severity model from 40 hours 222, which is blocking and advisory. So I made a pull request to this issue fix real quick. So so if you look at this, we have 4 functions. We are there. Until this is severity. So basically, this period we have 4 different functions that I need to turn into one. I'm coming. Where is it? This is the main and
Yeah, in terms of the need for this change, I guess the statement is that so we have a set of validation rules for whether or not Meshery schemas are written correctly.
yeah.
And then I guess the suggestion is that it has a classification system that's just a little too sophisticated, more sophisticated than it needs to be. And this is simplifying it.
So this actually the function classify design issue. And so basically what I just did, I removed the 4 functions and created like a function. So passing a parameter to it.
Cool, but why? What's the point?
So basically, instead of having like 4 functions that check the severity, I just have one function, then passing the parameter to make it.
Oh, I see.
To make it.
I got you.
So whenever you run it with the strict tag, it just returns whatever I need to return instead of like calling out the 4 function once.
Oh, okay. Yes. Simplifying a bit then. Okay, very good. Anything that you want to talk about in specific here, other than just letting people know that this activity is happening?
Nothing really. Just because I was getting like tags to like add it to the meeting. That was why I added most of the thing I was on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, very good. Very good, very good.
One of it. Maybe I should just jump to this one, which is the agent. So you asked me to like make this work. So I with the part you gave me, I added it to my secrets. And I had to like run it, which ran. So I don't know basically why it wasn't running on Meshery. Maybe the permissions I was given to the part wasn't sustainable enough. Oh, let me just open it here. Actions. Oh. It again. Just to, so I ran it like day before yesterday. Just to validate. So it failed here. I think is it. So this one failed because I don't have a discussion from my repo, and so basically everything ran successfully.
Cool. A couple of things. So a couple of things.
Yeah.
One is I have context for what this is, but do you know how many other people on the call do?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What take a guess?
I don't know, maybe Arjun, maybe one person, just 3 of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And Arjun isn't on the call. So anyway, my point is no one knows what you're talking about. So hey, when you bring up a subject, just give everybody a brief introduction to it so that they understand what they can offer up some feedback or thoughts or learn along with us or what have you. So what are you talking about right now?
So basically, we are deploying an agent that will be able to like get issues from live platform and document it into the classroom. So that's what the pipeline does.
What classroom? Did you say classroom?
Is it the discussion room? Hold on. I'm coming. So that was the save output field.
Dude, or what? What are we talking about?
So whenever it activates, it detects from whenever it activates, it detects from
Yeah. Hey, let me introduce the topic for you if I could. Would that be all right?
yeah.
All right. Yeah, very good. So Meshery uses lots of GitHub actions, lots of workflows. Meshery has some of its own GitHub actions. Some of them are private and in its own repos. Some of them are published to the GitHub marketplace. And so we use a ton of them. And we've shared statistics about how many build minutes are used a month across all of our repos. It's somewhat impressive. Many of the workflows call other workflows from other repos, and it's a lot of coordination that goes on. Ian Whitney, one of the maintainers who's on the call, he's working on simplifying some of that, refining some of that, making some of those workflows, either eliminating some duplication or simplifying and making them a little more reusable. With that said, what Olalai is presenting right now is a whole new class of workflow. So with the AI era upon us, there's a number of things that get augmented with AI or change, and one of those is workflows. So the GitHub has agentic workflows, which function a little bit differently, and they get set up a little bit differently. And in fact, they get compiled. Like there's a number of procedural steps to setting up one. And so as a project, we're just exploring the potential use of these. We will undoubtedly use quite a few of these, I would think. The first agentic workflow that we're assessing, Olala, if you don't mind going to somewhere else other than like the overview of the thing, is there's a workflow that would be run in which more or less a prompt would be asked of an AI agent. The prompt that's asked in this case is something like, you are new to Meshery. Your task is to go read the quick start guides and the introductory guides inside of Meshery docs. Make an assessment as to whether or not the docs are understandable and they get you to where you need to go. That's kind of what the prompt is. And then based on the outputs, I think that maybe it'll open up an issue or two if it finds that the quick start guides, the introductory docs are lacking. So that's what this agentic workflow is supposed to do. These workflows function a little bit differently. Olalai is helping ensure that we work through some of those kinks and understand how they work. So Olalai, you just got done getting the first one to work from your fork. What was the singular change that made it work?
So yeah, I just with the part that you gave me, I just added some permission to it. And yeah, the rights access permission to write to whoever, and yeah, it worked.
Cool. Okay, very good. Anybody got any questions or comments from Olalai or for Olalai?
Is it great then that is then triageable, or what's the output of the workflow?
Yeah, so the Olalai, do you have, since this has run successfully, I'm just repeating what Ian said because I know it can be difficult to hear what he had asked. Do you have the output of that first successful run?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, can we take a quick look? Did it happen to create an issue?
No, I didn't. It didn't.
Okay.
I saw
Or
the beginners welcome to. I saw it somewhere yesterday. I can't even.
it's a good thing that I don't have a sharp object next to me because I might slip my wrist. What do we? All right. So no, it didn't, but they are capable of doing that. All right. Very good. This one is having a failure on safe outputs. Do you know why?
Yeah, because of I don't have a discussion category in my repo.
Okay.
So you
So you
couldn't
don't have.
yeah.
Okay. So it is this particular workflow is not configured to open up an issue. It is configured to open up a
Discussion.
post in GitHub discussions. Okay.
Yeah.
Ian, is that strike at the heart of what you were asking, Ian?
Yeah, I just wondered what the output was that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it is, or not, I think it's certainly configurable in terms of what you would, and in terms of what you would like for it to do. And it's an interesting, yeah, there's a lot of power within here. And actually, to the extent that there is a lot of power within these workflows, and there always has been, by the way, in all of the workflows, the security model works a little bit differently, Ian. It's not only because it's powerful that the security model works a little bit differently, but I think also because if you're going to have workflows invoke Copilot, or not just Copilot, it could be a different AI. There's cost involved as well. So before an agentic workflow will run, there's a couple of procedural steps to get a personal access token of some account. And that personal access token gets associated. And this is part of the confusing part is like, I don't know that there's a one-to-one relationship with like a PAT, a personal access token, and the agentic flow. I think that you can have your own convention in which you share one across a few and then share this one across a few. And those workflows can be scheduled just like the other one. They can be triggered in the same way that the other workflows can be. There's Olalai, do you have a link to maybe where people can go find out a little bit more about this type of?
When you say action token, can it run off a GitHub app as the identity versus the personal access token or no?
In this case, it's a user account. I didn't see where this early preview capability. Here's a link to the sort of the canonical site for this emerging capability from GitHub.
It's native from GitHub. It's not like a third-party marketplace thing. It's from GitHub itself.
Yeah, right. Correct. Inside of your workflow, you can choose to use other providers' AI models if you want to, but these are still GitHub workflows. They are just different enough. Well, I think it's not just a marketing ploy. Like these work different enough that, yeah, they're being treated as an extension. So one of the ways that you work with these are ultimately written out in YAML, just like the existing workflows. But one of the ways in which you create these or that you work with them is through the GitHub GH CLI, the CLI called GH. The GH CLI is extensible. So you can add plugins to your GH install. And that's the way that this emergent like preview capability, one of the ways that you interact with it is I don't know if you can see, but this GH extension install, and you install the official agentic workflow extension, which at some point in the future, it would just be, I'm sure, native to GH, but so yeah. So look like this sort of a thing could really help us in a few different areas. And the first thought that I had was to grab a hold of this newcomer evaluatory workflow to look at the docs. So thanks to Olalai, we're almost there. But Olalai, when you do push your PR to the Meshery repo. Ian is one of those folks that we can tag and
Yep, I already did that.
nice. Very good. Anybody else have comments or questions on that? All right. Hey, the next topic up is from Mia and James. They're not on the call at the moment. There is a restructuring that's been of the Meshery's UI that's been proposed. It's about 5 phases long. It's, near as I understand that it has a large scope, but much of what was intended or is intended is something of a cleanup. If you consider that 3,000 people have contributed, or over 3,000 people have contributed to Meshery, and we have a folder structure, it's kind of like an open file share. Anyone in the world can come over and make a contribution in there. And if we're not really careful and we don't have the same maintainer involved the whole time, it's easy for the folder structure and the way that components are written and to sort of to migrate over time and get unorganized. And this is largely what their goal is to reorganize, simplify, break down large files, like deduplicate them. Throughout this, I don't even think it's called out in here, but one of the very necessary changes that need to happen in Meshery UI is to ensure that the RTK clients that are being used, those clients, that none of them are locally defined in the Meshery repo, but they are all imported from the Meshery schemas repo. I don't even know that that's listed as part of the goal. So that's what this topic is about. There's an open call from them for people to comment and a design spec to review. And so if front end is your thing, there's a lot of work here to be done. So questions, comments before we go to the next one?
Yeah, I think we should actually encourage people who are working, who decide to work on the design spec and the UI revamp to create sub-issues because the sub-issues that Mia has created has to be further divided so that we don't step on each other's toes and then create duplicate PRs. As far as what I could actually understand from the design spec, that is actually going to be a huge effort. So if we have duplicate PRs, then we will again have problems. Maintainers will have a hard time deciding on what to merge, what to close, what to mark as duplicate, etc.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing to do is to like, even though this phase one, even though this phase one issue is a sub issue, it's still not broken down enough. Like phase one, you might expect 5 or 10 different PRs just for phase one. So to your point, yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead, Ihan.
Will test coverage of these broken down components be a part of the definition of done, or how is that going to be handled?
Yeah, that absolutely needs to be the case. It needs to be hand in hand. I don't know. Don't know if I've gone through all the spec, if that's implicitly stated, but actually to the extent that sub issues are created, like Kavitha is suggesting, then it should be a standard part of the acceptance criteria. Part of the nice thing there, Ian, is we might be missing, we might not have full coverage today. So part of achieving that definition of done or that acceptance criteria would be that we would get 100% coverage, or that we would have test cases for those. It's good. So let me take a note of that and get that feedback to them. Substituted. Um, on this subject, Ian, have you noticed recently there are a lot more end-to-end test cases being run? Let me see if I can find one. In a very good way. About 137 test cases listed.
Just in play, right?
Yeah, 139. So, like, and for my part, and some of these are, for my part, I'm not, there's so much code being moved around. I don't even remember where these came from, but we jumped from 60, we doubled it. So
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. I was in kind of last week poking around, and I was in like the 60s or 70s, kind of that old mark that we had. So yeah, 139 is a surprise. I'd be curious if things are duplicated, but or if the reporter is reporting it incorrectly. But yeah, that'd be cool. How long does it take to run that?
yeah, to your point about the reporter maybe not speaking to it correctly, it only says it took, in this case, most of them passed and it only took 7 minutes. So
yeah, that a little suspicious, I guess, on that time that if we doubled the test, it was about a 6-minute something or another. The last time we had 70 and maybe a few flaky ones in there. So it would be worth maybe just double check on what's going on there.
totally. Oh, I know what it is. Guanming is not on the call today, but he's one of the contributors that's been focused on porting Meshery's evaluation engine from Rego to Golang. And I believe that each of the relationship tests are now running, hopefully they're running in parallel, but that there's 2 copies of those tests being run, one under OPA and one under Golang. So yeah, just gotta, yeah, okay. Certainly more to dig into and confirm, but okay, good. I'm glad that we talked about it because I wasn't sure where they came from. All right, very good. All right, next topic up is from Lennox.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay,
Lennox.
so let me share my screen. There we go. I have my camera on the other side because I don't have a camera on my laptop. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Yeah, okay, there we go. So just to like keep on the flow of the call right now, Olad is not here today, but he asked if I could like present this PR that he made. So for a little bit of context, there is let me see. So there are 565 warnings for an npm.run.lint. So he raised a PR in which they're like dismissed. He did this because of the current like restructure of the UI. So he asked Sarah and me to review it. So we were trying to see whether his approach to like dismiss the warnings for like right now, because it's pretty much like legacy code because of the restructure, if that was the right approach for the PR that he raised. So on the file changes, here we were having this discussion over here. So he wanted to ask if this was like the right approach or.
You can kind of go either way. I'll express an opinion, but anyone else is welcome to. I think you guys could go either way. Like the good thing about it's annoying that you get 500 warnings, and it's also good that you're annoyed by it. So we do something about it. If we hide them, then we may not be annoyed and we may not do anything. But if we're committed to doing something, then maybe we hide them because it's super annoying and while we work on them. The risk is that you never come back to work on them because it's not annoying. And so like, yeah, I don't know. Just, it doesn't just sort of what we should do instead of spending time trying to talk about it is like fucking fix them. And then that's the answer.
Okay. So
Alright,
that's that in that regard, I guess. And then I was working on the GraphQL removal. For those who are not aware of what like GraphQL is, it's like a query language. So usually whenever on REST API, we have like different endpoints, and then we do request to those endpoints, and then we get a response back. But each individual like endpoint, that's its own like object, or I forgot the name of it. Yeah, kind of like an object, I guess, or like a collection of objects. So GraphQL, what it does is like you only get one endpoint, and then you send in, yeah, schema. No, it's not schema, but forgot the word. So GraphQL, what it does is like you write this language in which you decide what you want to request from this endpoint. So it helps with overfetching and underfetching, because whenever you request an object from like REST API, you get like the full object, but you might not be like interested in the whole object. You just might want like a particular attribute from that object. The thing is, it's not being like, its implementation is not bringing the value that it's supposed to be bringing. So it's on the chopping block, as Mr. Lee said. So I've been coming up with a plan in order to like remove it. There's one parent issue, which is the removal. Step one was like understanding which libraries are being implemented in order to use like this query language. The functionality that the functions provide, the functions, how they're being used, and how they're being used. So as of right now, I'm adding the function replacement to the UI first. So over here we have that I'm like going through creating like the new endpoints. So each component has this, let me see, variables. Calls for like their own individual function from the library that deals with the whole GraphQL. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna replace the function, but keep on the same like structure. So the new functions are going to have the same variables, subscribe and such, but they're going to be requesting the data from the REST endpoint. So it will like just change the logic within the functions and import them from like a different place pretty much. So currently doing that. I was going through the endpoints on the server, and I am pretty sure some of the functionalities that the GraphQL handles are not currently like being implemented in the server. So I'll have to create like new endpoints for each one of them. I only saw for the API that there is a mesh sync model one, and then for the other ones, it's not the same functionality that they have. There is, for the GraphQL, it implements like WebSockets, but on the server, it's currently implementing SSE, which are like, the difference between the two of them is like, one, you can like have bidirectional communication, and then the SSE, it's only you get like the events, but you cannot like reply back. So I'll have to undergo that as well. Then add the test cases. Then once I have like everything already built up, I'm just going to replace the GraphQL functions to see if nothing is breaking, and then just be sure that it follows the architectural decisions of the current repo, and then removing the libraries and just updating the docs and the make files, and that's pretty much it.
Nice. Who's got feedback for Linux?
Perhaps one question on my hand. I was I was not aware that we want to remove the GraphQL, but like you said, I think that there are a lot of things that are missing in API. There, from the server side, I mean, and I know that there are not a lot of unit tests currently from the server side. So be sure to add test where when you do implement the new endpoint, at least.
Okay.
And perhaps on the existing ones, if you have time, just add some unit tests before and after just to validate that is doing that you want to do. That's it. And why did we remove the GraphQL at the end? Because from UI part, for me, to look like GraphQL is the way to go in 2026, but I miss something, perhaps.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So from my current understanding, there is just not enough. There, like, the cost for maintaining the GraphQL, it's higher than the value that it's currently bringing. So it outweighs the reason as to why it's within the project as of right now. There is a couple of issues which they don't like. Let me see if I can find them. I just had it right over here.
Yeah, but it's okay. It was just a question like that. If we decided to move to full REST API, it's okay too. But I know that sometimes the GraphQL allow to simplify requests from UI to backend. Instead of doing multiple call, you can do one and get the data the way you want. This is where GraphQL is strong, but that's it. That's the only question why we do that. If we don't have people that know enough how it's working, I understand that.
No.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, Matthew, I think part of your last statement hit it on the head is like, it furthers what Lennox had just said, which is, hey, no diss on GraphQL, more like a diss on ourselves. We're not wielding it well. And because of that, we end up with two different technologies for the API, one that we're like not using very well and aren't getting the full value out of because like that powerful ability to query, to not have to predefine all of your endpoints and all of your queries, to just have one and let the UI do what it will, query what it will, so long as you've got well-defined schemas for the various types of data that that you can allow to be retrieved. Like we don't have all these mutations written, and we don't we've done it 3 times. We've overhauled the GraphQL framework that we've tried to use, and we just don't have the technical chops, or we haven't to date had people like me who know what the hell they're doing. So it's like
Perfect. Makes sense.
With that said, like, yeah, Lennox, I left a little bit of feedback in the Zoom chat, so it's something to consider. But yeah, very good.
All right.
Thanks.
No problem.
Thanks for going through it. All right. Next topic up is Matthew.
Yes. Just sharing my screen. Okay, so 3 pull requests in Meshery CTL for me. The first one is about I didn't remember, the model import command. I just did a little refactoring. Basically here, previously, perhaps I can make it bigger. Previously, we were just use a lot of component from we are using when we're doing call REST API to the Meshery server, and I think since last year we have defined one reusable API library, which is doing everything to call Meshery, handle everything to call Meshery server. So I just remove everything here and just reuse that library here. That's the only change I did. Next one, it was for the model init, the missing argument message that was a little that what the, that was helpful at the end. So I just replace the message to be more clear for the end user when you don't give any argument to the command, so that the message is clear what you have missed. And the last one, it's we had a long story with a Meshery CTL workspace view command, and we fixed it on the remote provider. So I just update in the CLI to match the last changes with remote provider, and I did also test with the local provider, both working as we want. So that's all that I have on my hand.
Nice. Hey, very good. Hey, related to that, actually, Sangram just had pointed out that maybe I shouldn't point this out. Actually, there we have a bug on the environment and the way that we get environments, and that might be a UI bug now that I think of it. But yeah, very good. Those changes make sense. Is Yash, are you on the call? Do you have any additional issues that have been opened on Meshery CTL model that should be highlighted?
I opened an issue recently, and we have even a PR for this from Ashwini. I even dropped some of the comments on that preview, on that PR. It was related to I noticed that there was a flag -R, which was actually to register the generated model, but sorry, it was actually for the skipping the registration of the model, but it was mentioned as -R, which was actually misleading to the users. One more issue I found that we have model init command, which actually generates some of the scaffolds, and this is the best way for any contributor to work with the model. But since we are having some of the issues related to Meshery CTL model generate command, when we use those scaffold, when we feeds those scaffolds to that command to generate the models. So I opened an issue for that, and Ashwani has PR on that. I think that PR was working well. He has even provided some of the screenshots related to that. I didn't look recently on that, but yeah, I have some of the issues open, and yeah, there are some of the issues also which I found. For example, I guess on model init command, we are getting some of the reference documentation links, but since we have migrated to the new docs from Jekyll to Hugo, those links are broken, so we need to replace them also. I'll be opening an issue for them also. Yeah, and might be a couple of more issues. I'll be opening those issues as I found out them.
Yeah, good. So Sujay, your recent questions, these issues have been opened as part of that. So Yash, make sure that you're pointing those out to Sujay if you would, if you haven't already. That way at least he knows that there's some things that are being fixed, or if he wants to try to jump on one or two of them, that he might do so as well.
Yeah, sure. I'll be having conversation with Sujay.
The model command it should be bread and butter for us. It is
Definitely
one of those core features of Meshery.
Yeah, and when most of the newcomer contributors tries to generate relationship, the main problem they face is they messed up with the schema. And since we are getting standard scaffolds, it will be definitely a bread and butter thing for new contributors.
All right, so we're at time. Did we miss anything?
Can
that
I
people?
can I just add one point here? Be sure when you're doing something that is related to UX enhancement for Meshery CTL, I have created an issue like a task and just I just want to have everything under that one so we can follow and don't have double issues. So if you can just add it under the same umbrella here, it will be great. Perhaps the description will need to be updated here, but yes, that's it for me.
Yeah, sure, Matthew. I'll be nesting those issues under this epic.
Yeah, thanks.
Anything else? The items that we weren't able to cover today, I encourage you all to put these as agenda items for next week immediately. And I also encourage you not to wait until next week, but to, depending upon if it's appropriate for your topic, like make a small recording of the thing that you wanted to say and drop that into a discussion forum post or into Slack. And that way you don't have to wait a week. So we have the newcomers meeting on Friday, as well as the Meshery certifications study hall on Friday. Last chance at anything that we missed today? Good. Well, great. Hey, a successful meeting. All right. Another Wednesday, another hump day gone by. Or for some of you, gone by. For some of us, just starting the grind. Anyway, good. Nice to see you all. Thanks for those that introduced themselves today. It's very nice to meet you and to mispronounce your name. I enjoyed it. Okay. Anyway, we'll see you guys back in Slack. We'll see you later.
Yes, thank you. Bye.